All right. Welcome back, everybody, to Altcoin Daily. My name's Austin. This is the channel that you subscribe to, bringing the most recent, the biggest cryptocurrency news stories, keeping you informed. Like always, let's jump in. Bitcoin has a higher uptime than every major tech company. Good luck trying to stop it. And did you know this? Bitcoin has not been up 100% of the time. It's higher than Amazon, it's higher than Facebook, higher than Google, but Bitcoin's uptime right now is 99.985%. But good news, Bitcoin's holy grail of 99.99% uptime can be achieved in the next 2 million plus minutes, about in the next 4 years, assuming everything goes smoothly. As a Bitcoin holder, can you speak to this? Did you know that the Bitcoin network has gone down just twice in its history? And actually, this was very early on. The network didn't really have much of a value. It was pretty fragile. But according to an in-house calculation, we estimate that on Friday, November 14th of 2025, as the date when Bitcoin will finally reach the milestone of 99.99% uptime. And obviously, the network is way more secure than what it once was. And in fact, the number would be as high as 100% if we measured only from 2013 onward. But why did Bitcoin go down originally? Bitcoin has gone down twice. In 2010, there was a value overflow incident, which saw 2 Bitcoin addresses erroneously granted 92.2 billion coins each. Now, back in 2010, Bitcoin really didn't have much of a value, but how did they fix it? Well, they fixed it with a soft fork. In this instance, the blockchain was down for 8 hours and 27 minutes before a soft fork effectively canceled the bugged transactions. And then again in 2013, Bitcoin briefly went down after a block was rejected by certain miners running different versions of the Bitcoin client. This resulted in a short chain split, which was resolved after 6 hours and 20 minutes when miners recognized themselves onto the same client. So obviously with tech, very early on, these things can happen. The good news is for you today, before we get to the class action, before we get to major altcoin news, Bitcoin today, the network is far more mature, we are far more decentralized, plus the code is 100% public, 100% open sourced, so you can take a look at it whenever you want, whenever is best for you. There's so much history to Bitcoin. Every day, we're going to keep learning a little bit more. All right, next piece of news before EOS, BitMEX. New class action lawsuit accuses crypto exchange BitMEX of racketeering and fraud. And BitMEX, they're a huge player in the space. So exactly what are they being accused of? Well, first, they're being accused of nearly $138 billion of trading volume on the exchange. They're being accused of being attributed to U.S. traders, which they're not registered in the U.S. So that's a problem for BitMEX, if true. And they're also being accused of market manipulation. Because if you're not registered and you're not being consistently audited, how do we know you're not manipulating the market? How do we know that when you see 90% of your users go long on Bitcoin, how do we know that you don't go short and then dump on the market if you can see what all your users are doing? Those are the accusations. Let's find out the details. Well, if you remember, BitMEX, which began blocking US traders in 2018, is not registered in the US. Although last year the CFTC reportedly began investigating the exchange to learn whether it had broken the rules by giving access to US users. So the CFTC is also still investigating them, and while I'm not on BitMEX, I hear it's not that hard as a US resident to get on BitMEX and start trading. The 106-page lawsuit accuses BitMEX and its co-founders, Arthur Hayes, Ben Dello, and Samuel Reed, of a myriad of illegal activities, including racketeering, wire fraud, money laundering, cryptocurrency market manipulation, negligence, fraud, civil conspiracy, and unfair business practices. So really every shady thing that an exchange could be accused of, they seem to be accused of, and the suit calls the sheer magnitude of BitMEX's unlawful activity staggering. It also claims that according to sources close to the company, nearly 15%, or $138 billion, of the trading volume on the exchange is attributed to U.S. traders. In my opinion, U.S. traders, that could definitely be true. For me, the cryptocurrency market manipulation, this could be true, but until there's actual proof, I tend to kind of stay away from the conspiracy theory. But again, they could have committed fraud, innocent until I see the proof. I want to see the proof. Let me know what you think down below in the comments. But next piece of news, like it, support it. Thank you, Jack. Very cool. You can now do automatic recurring purchases of Bitcoin in Cash App, daily, weekly, or every 2 weeks, and change the display to sats, stacking sats. It is so much easier to stack sats today, thanks to Jack, thanks to others, than it was just 2.5 years ago in 2017. That's huge. That's huge. But next piece of news before Tron, another class action against Block.one, the company behind EOS, alleges that 1, EOS is not as decentralized as they claim, and 2, that there were dirty dealings during EOS's ICO. Dirty dealings? What does that mean? Well, filed this morning, the second class action against Block.one estimates that U.S. investors, so it's dirty dealings because the U.S. participated, U.S. investors made up around $200 million of the EOS ICO in violation of securities laws. So we do know that EOS was already charged and actually settled with the SEC, was fined a minimal amount, and the SEC declared that while the ICO might have been an unregistered security, when they switched over to their mainnet, so off an ERC-20 into their own blockchain, it became something else. So they settled with the SEC already last year. So why are they being sued again? Well, per a May 18th complaint, more investors are looking to recoup funds invested. So this is America. More investors want to sue. And why is that? What proof do they have? Because how EOS actively courted U.S. investors. Now, to be clear, there was language in the purchase agreement in EOS's presale which told investors in the United States not to participate in the fundraising round. This was an effort to avoid conflict with the SEC at that time, so it was in the terms and conditions, not open to U.S. investors. However, we know from the lawsuit that was already settled with the SEC that some U.S. investors did indeed participate in the ICO. Now, what are these new allegations? Well, the new complaint alleges that the firm, Block.one, which has offices in Hong Kong as well as Virginia, knowingly and deliberately sought U.S. investors. This is a direct quote. From 2017 to the present, to drive demand for EOS securities, defendants have aggressively courted investors throughout the United States. Block.one first announced itself at a May 2017 conference in New York City and punctuated its arrival with expensive ad space on a Times Square billboard. Now, why would they announce and advertise in the US if they weren't looking to crowdfund the US citizens? They do seem to have some evidence to support their allegations. We will see. We will see. I will keep you updated. Next piece of news. Tron offers to assist Spencer Dinwiddie in his $24 million crowdfunding campaign. And as you know, as we reported, basketball star Spencer Dinwiddie floated the idea to his fans of crowdfunding $24.6 million to determine his next NBA team. So Spencer is trying to decentralize the process, trying to keep his fans included in his basketball decisions. And he tweeted, "I'll double down. Y'all crowdfund 2,625 BTC, and I'll sign a minimum contract for my next deal with the team that y'all vote for." So again, he would either get that money from the NBA, or he says, if the fans can raise the money, then I'll work for you. Well, obviously, this got picked up upon by Bleacher Report, major media outlets, and then the Tron Foundation tweeted, "Hi, Spencer. We can help you and allow you to cut out the GoFundMe middleman and put 100% of your fans' hard-earned crypto to work. TRX. Just ask Justin Sun." Spencer replied to this retweet, "Let's make it happen." And Justin Sun said, "Let's do it." Master marketer Tron may get another big publicity push with this. Now, since that interaction, we have no new information, so I don't know if anything was officially signed. And since that tweet, not much has been revealed on whether they went through with it. However, the entire idea of letting fans decide the future of their favorite player is a step forward in decentralizing sports. The key is everything is going to have a degree of centralization, decentralization. Tron does have a degree of centralization, but it's faster. So we'll see what Spencer decides. Well, that's the video. My name's Austin. See you tomorrow.